Are you ready? Can Crushers. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hey everybody, this is the sexy fireman Jason Tyler, and make sure that you follow Can Crushers Podcast everywhere on social media, and make sure you're up to date listening to all their podcasts wherever you get your podcast.
And welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, the Spotlight Edition. Thank you to the sexy fireman Jason Tyler for bringing us in this week. And this is a special one, because back by popular demand, it is the English professor, Johnny Boy. How are you?
Popular demand.
Yeah.
People have been asking about me.
They have been.
Wow.
I thought that would have set you up for your, from Queen.
The English. Yeah. Sorry. I can't believe people have been asking about me.
They do, yeah. They want homework and stuff like that.
They miss it, huh?
They do.
Yeah. No, I wanted to come on, whether people wanted me on or not. I wanted to be on for this one. When you reached out to me and said that you had Jock Samson lined up as a guest, I thought I want in on this one because this guy fascinates me, Mark. He really does.
Yeah, John, I have a laundry list of legends that he's faced off against, and I'll read you some of them. Shane Douglas, Hardcore Holly, Colt Cabana, Jim Duggan, MJF, the AEW champion, both Dudleys, Rikishi, Johnny Gargano, Tracy Smothers, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and he reminds us all the time, the Honky Tonk Man.
Wow, that is quite a list. Very quickly, some of those names, rumor has it, the Hammer, he had that name for a reason. He was pretty heavy-handed. I'm curious to know what one of those Hammer forearms or elbow drops felt like. That is quite an impressive list to have shared the ring with.
Yeah, 17 years in the business, more or less the GOAT now of IWC. So, are we ready for him?
I think we are, yeah.
But first, we have to tell you about Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have down at Collar and Elbow. Make sure you check them out. John, what's the promo code?
It is Can Crushers, all one word. Capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers.
And you will save 10% off your order when you do that. Make sure you check out the new Monday Night War shirt. I think the WCW one is better than the WWF one. They're pretty cool. Here comes Al to tell you more, and we'll be back on the line with the GOAT, Jock Samson.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is Julia Lynn, a.k.a. The John Piece, and you are listening to the best podcast ever, the Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome back, Can Crushers listeners. We just heard from Al Snow over at Collar and Elbow, and we have with us now on the line the IWC GOAT, Jock Samson. Mr. Samson, welcome to Can Crushers.
Well, hey, how you guys doing? Let me clarify something here. I'm not just the IWC GOAT. I am the GOAT of fucking pro wrestling. I'm the greatest of all time. There ain't no one as good as me. Plain and simple. I don't care. If I walk to McDonald's, I'm the best of all time when I go to that fucking McDonald's. I'm at the strip club, I'm the fucking GOAT. Everywhere in the world, I'm the motherfucking GOAT.
All right, enough said. Jock, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on. I know you don't do many, so we're graced to have you on this show this week. I want to start way back, and then John's just going to bounce all over the place. When you were the little goat and just finding wrestling, who introduced you to wrestling? Like, how did you find it way back then?
Well, when as Justin Plummer liked to allude that I'm old and bitter and all that, and it's true for professional wrestling. I am old. I'm 43 years old. So when I was a young man in Nelsonville, Ohio, I don't know if you guys know where that is. It's down in Athens County near Ohio University, where the Bobcats play, right?
Yep.
So they had this every Saturday night. My mother would allow me. It was me and her's thing. We would get a pizza, and then she'd take me to the video store, because you could go into a video store and get a VHS tape, and they would sell these VHS tapes for $1 per tape for the night. So I would go get 3. She would get a movie for herself, and I would get 2, and I'd go in my room and watch, and that's what we would do, when I was a young man. And there's this little hardware store called LS, Lancaster Sales. Little mom and pop had everything you fucking need. We need more places like that nowadays. But I would go in there, and then, I got a cold. I think I got the plumber cold.
Oh, no.
Bullshit cold. It's the bullshit plumber cold. You know how it gets. But I would go in there, and then I went to look, and then there was this tape, and it had these 2 big motherfuckers. One guy was 7'5", and the other guy was 6'8", and it was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant on the cover of WrestleMania 3. And I looked at it and I said, "My God, what the hell is this?" So I got it, and then ever since then, when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, the only thing I could ever think of in pro wrestling is. Every time I think of what got me into it or my passion, it's when Hogan slammed him. Yeah, and it goes back to that little hardware store, my little small hometown.
That's the same scenario we had essentially growing up. Ours was actually like a pool store / Radio Shack, completely mom and pop. They had everything there, and they rented out VHSs. It was either me or John fighting over who the hell was going to get the first new release there, because we would never watch them together, because we're both son of a bitches. We wanted to enjoy it ourselves. Screw being friends. We just wanted to sit and watch it. We did the same thing, and then we just rent them, and then the place burnt down.
Yeah. But you got to think the era that us 3 old fucks grew up in. It is the golden era of professional wrestling, and it is. If it wasn't there, there's a lot of guys in pro wrestling that wouldn't be here right now. Like, if it wasn't for, and I truly believe this, and I'm sure there's going to be some fucking asshole out there who's going to talk shit on Hulk Hogan, and you can say what you want about Hulk Hogan, that's fine. But if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, pro wrestling would look 10 times different now than what it ever did. It ever would. It might not even be around. It might be a small market. It might be a niche. It might still be in the territories. You just don't know. But if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, it wouldn't be what it is. It wouldn't have been the big rock star. Let's put it this way. You have the Beatles, right? So if you don't have Elvis, you have Elvis Presley. You have no Elvis Presley, you got no Beatles. You got no Beatles, you got no Led Zeppelin and everything else. That's the same with pro wrestling. You don't got no Hulk Hogan, you have no Stone Cold. You don't have no Ric Flair. Ric Flair was around before, but that's kind of a bad one. But you have no Stone Cold. You don't have no Rock. You don't have no John Cena, so forth. No Roman Reigns. You don't have these guys if it isn't for Hulk Hogan.
Agreed 100%, Jock. We've been waving that flag for years. John, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's a great explanation of kind of where your love affair with pro wrestling started. At what point did you decide this is what I want to do?
That moment, I wanted to be a pro wrestler from the moment I saw that. And I used to tell everyone, they used to think I was crazy as hell. It took me about 20 years or whatever to figure out how to get myself involved. I didn't get involved in pro wrestling until I was 25 years old. It was hard to get into professional wrestling when I was coming up. Like now, everyone's got a goddamn school.
Yeah, that's the bad thing, though, Jock. That's the bad thing. Everybody's got the goddamn school of wrestling.
Like, it's making it easier to be a professional wrestler, but it's also making it harder to make a living as a professional wrestler. Because you got all these guys that are coming up that are being trained, and this is on promoters too. They're going to pay nothing for these young guys so they don't have to pay veterans and old guys what they deserve. So they're going to say, well, I'll take $10. Who are you going to pay? You're going to pay $10? Or you're going to pay $200? You're going to have a bad match with $10, but yet you don't have to pay $200. And that's going to get me off on something else that will just hijack this whole conversation.
Oh, hijack away. This is your time.
But there is way too many wrestling schools. It's way too easy to get in professional wrestling. When I came up to become a professional wrestler, I'm sure you were going there, I ran into a guy that introduced me to a guy by the name of Brian Logan. And Brian Logan, I'm sure you guys are aware of him.
Yes, I am.
He wrestled in OVW under the Disciples of Sin. Jim Cornette's wife was the team that had Batista. I can't remember his tag team partner, but Batista was in the group, the Disciples of Sin, SYNN. And Brian was the one that had hair. But Brian, I ran into him, and Brian trained me, and he taught me how to be a professional wrestler. And the training was so freaking hard. I don't know. Okay, we had 16 people in our training class, right?
Okay.
To start. In my group. I'm it. I'm all there's left.
Wow.
They didn't finish the class, or they've since moved on?
Well, we had 4 finish, but I'm the only one still active. But they didn't last much longer after. They had a guy do a show here or there, but for the most part, I've been the only active guy. So we lost about 10 people the first week because he was having us doing 500 air squats a day, 200 push-ups, have to run a mile every day before we were even allowed to think about getting in the ring. So after the first day of 500 air squats, your legs are ready to fall off.
Oh yeah, yeah. I understand that. Jump on and off a garbage truck 500 times a day. Yeah.
And then you're getting slammed, you get punched, you get kicked. Your body's not used to taking a beating. And we had people dropping like flies, and it was very hard. Now, it's more about teaching moves more than, and this is not every school. This is just, for the most part, a lot of them, hey, we'll just get together and teach people moves. That's not professional wrestling. Moves are bullshit. It's what you do leading up to that, the stories that you tell. And
that was the word I was waiting for. I was waiting for that one word, and I knew it was coming out of your mouth. The story sells more of the match because, listen, everybody remembers the story. Are you going to be able to tell me every Ric Flair Steamboat match move by move? No. But you know the stories, right?
I'm going to tell you how excited I was when I watched those matches.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what kind of emotion it elicited by me watching it. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh my God, they weren't real crisp on that so-and-so move. Fuck that. Moves are fucking filler, and they're necessary, sure.
Right.
Because if you don't have moves, you can't tell your story. It's just like not giving someone who's a writer, not giving them a fucking pen or a computer or whatever to write their story. You got to have the tools to write the story. But I think we have too much emphasis. We teach too much emphasis on the moves today. Goddamn, work a fucking crowd. Grab a microphone. Tell a fan to suck a dick.
On that note.
All right. I was going to say, that's a good segue to John.
Before, when I heard that we were going to be talking to you, that Mark was going to be talking to you, I asked Mark, I said, can I join you? Because you fascinate me. And that is the honest to goodness truth, Jock. You go to these shows and it's a lot of the same stuff. Your team sucks. Your city sucks. You get really personal. I hope your car breaks down. I hope your food is cold. Like, just bad stuff that you wish on the fans. What do you tap into to be that kind of a bad guy and not just go for the usual, Pittsburgh sucks, hope the Steelers lose type thing?
Well, it's easy to tell people you hope their car breaks down when they're saying nasty fucking things to you.
Touche.
You know, I come into a fucking town, I get judged solely by my appearance, right? I have a beer gut, right? I got a fucking beard. I got gray. My body is imperfect, right? So as soon as I walk through the fucking curtain or the fucking door entrance or whatever the fuck you want to call it, there's people out there that immediately just start catcalling me. So it's easy for me to tell them to suck dick.
Is it your nature?
I'm actually, let me phrase it. I'm a natural dickhead, but I'm me. I'm not trying to be a bad guy. I'm just naturally coming across as me. And I will fight. I'm the kind of guy, like I said, I have a gut. I'm fat like Dusty Rhodes said a long time ago. Maybe my behind may be a little big. My belly may be a bit, but I'm bad. I could walk into a bar right now and clean that motherfucker clean. Beat everyone's ass. I'm a tough fucking fat guy.
You are. I don't know if I want to repeat that calling you fat, but you are a tough motherfucker. Guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to agree on that.
It's true. But it's true. Like, I'm not trying, but I'm the most self-confident motherfucker that you will ever run into. Like, nobody believes in themselves like I do. You didn't see me during COVID crying about losing my fucking art. Did you?
No.
You know what I did during COVID? I went out and became the IWC champion.
You and Governor Wolf.
I did. Yeah, my main man. Him and John Fetterman.
Right.
Well, he looks like Fester, doesn't he?
He really does.
I mean, you got a goddamn TV shrink, and then you got a Fester from the Addams family running for public house. You trying to tell me our politics system's working? Get the fuck out of here.
You happy that you live in Ohio?
Brother, yeah. Well, fuck yes, I'm happy I live in the great state of Ohio. It is the heart of it all. It's the greatest place on earth. I wouldn't live anywhere else than the great state of Ohio.
Good. We're jealous.
It's God's country. It's God's country.
Very quickly, Mark, if I can jump in.
Yeah.
I want to get back then to your training. Obviously, the confidence is there. You know, you brought up your physique, your look. Talk a little bit about, because you said they all dropped like flies. There were 16 of you guys, and 4 finished, and 3 have called it quits. What kept you going? What kept you going through the squats and the push-ups and the bumps and everything else?
You know how you watch a movie and they make it seem like I have this dream, and it's a really hard fucking dream, right? And then you get a guy, he achieves his dream, but the dream is also continuing doing what you're doing, and it gets hard, and they think about quitting. I think about all the fucking shit I went through to earn the right to call myself a professional fucking wrestler, not a entertainer, not a artist. I hate when people call wrestling a fucking art. It's a profession. And it's actually how I feed my family. You know, I I just thought about all the fucking air squats that I had to do and how my legs felt. And if I would have quit, those would have been all for naught. And it's never been in my nature to be a fucking quitter. Like, I will never quit. And I would go say retire from professional wrestling, right? Because that's a fucking lie.
Nobody ever retires. Yeah.
I'll never quit. Now, if I'm ever forced out, that's a whole different story. Like, if people are telling me they don't want me to come back, well, I can't really come back now, can I? But I will never quit. It's not me. You know, yeah, I fuck around with my wife, but I'll never leave her.
Speaking of people that, and we'll, like I said, we're going to bounce around. Speaking of people that might not ever want you to come back, last month's show before Super Indy, Justin Plummer didn't bring you to IWC. You blatantly said it on your Facebook comments, and you did a video and everything. Is he one that you're speaking to right now? Because he clearly seems to have a problem with you.
You know, professional wrestling today, when I was coming up, you weren't considered a good professional wrestler until you're about 37. Like, you weren't worth a shit if you were 20 years old, right? And I'm not trying to bring age into the situation, right?
Right.
It was a good thing to be an old guy, because you need old guys around, because the old guys are who's going to teach this generation how to become professional fucking wrestlers if you don't have any old guys. So this whole culture of, hey, let's get rid of the old bitter fucks and bring in and just use our 20-year-old fucking buddies. And wrestling's turned into a goddamn buddy system, right? And IWC is the same way. I mean, when I first came to IWC, I was hired by Chuck. Chuck brought me in, and Chuck was okay. I didn't get to talk to him a lot, but we got along. We got along enough. But as soon as I came in and I met Justin Plummer, after Justin Plummer became the owner, he went about, like, you look, he goes for a certain look. And I'm not trying, and when I was yelling at Cole Karter saying, what is this dick taste? I'm not saying that either one of them is that way. And I'm not judging anybody on that. What I'm trying to say is, if you kiss his ass, you brown nose, you're going to get plenty of opportunity. Okay. And all these people who are getting these opportunities are very talented. Like Britt Baker, he got on top of that, and helped her tremendously. And so she's doing what she's doing now, and she's doing great. And she did a lot of that on her own. Then you got Wardlow. Look, that was his next pet project, was Wardlow. And Wardlow is a great professional wrestler. And Plummer got a hold of that. Now he's got Cole Karter. And the difference between Cole Karter and Wardlow and Britt is those two are actually good people. Cole Karter is a shady, no good son of a bitch who is very talented. He's great. He's a good wrestler. You know what I mean? It'd be a fucking lie to say he sucked. He doesn't suck. But just think about, like, what would happen at IWC if Justin Plummer would get behind RC Dupree. Or
there'd be a great section. There's a ton of fans for RC that would want to see him go over. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got RC, and a lot of these guys back there, they don't like me because of what I did with the governor stuff. And I'm sure we can talk about that in a few minutes. But Justin Plummer gets a hold of people, and if he'd spend more time helping other people out and helping his chosen ones, I think the company and everybody else would be a lot better. And it's crazy to think that me saying that, calling him out, because he don't want to give people opportunities. He wants someone to kiss his ass. I won't kiss your ass. I blatantly refuse to kiss your ass. I mean, we would have never started the Regulators if he'd have gave Chris LaRusso a fair shot, if he'd have gave David Lawless a fair shot, Deputy Don, if he gave the entire crew a shot, we wouldn't have to done what we did.
And
So essentially, that was the driving force then, because you alluded to shutting down the company when you attempted to do that. That's essentially the driving force. Is you wouldn't kiss his ass, and he wasn't giving you guys opportunities.
No, exactly right. And I know me and Andrew Palace has had some issues over the years. Like when you were at the show, I assume, right?
right.
How he said, you noticed who he said? He said Cole Karter's. Then he said Andrew Palace, the young kids like him. I'm like, motherfucker, Andrew Palace was at IWC before I was there. He's acting like he's a fucking kid.
Yeah.
That just tells you right there that all he has done is shoved Andrew Palace down your throat. And it's hurt Andrew Palace. I am shoving him down your throat. He shoved all these people. You ever notice the people who are getting cheered and get reactions at IWC are the ones not kissing people's ass?
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're real. Real is real. Okay? And I know I'm going to get off on tangents, and I tend to do that. But real is real. But I would have never had the whole taken over with Governor Wolf. To be honest, I'm going to be fair. I was using Governor Wolf. I didn't believe a single damn thing that Governor Wolf said. I just knew I could use it to my advantage. We all did. The entire regulators knew that if we use this, we could get somewhere.
And you did.
And we did. And when I won that title that night, and I got to stand over top of Justin Plummer, smiling, was one of the greatest achievements. And I wish I had that picture. I need to go back and look for it. But what a great achievement, you know. But then to think 2 months later, Jack Pollock has an issue and he couldn't make it. Let me guess this. Guess who gets the title shot against me in December in a three-way?
Who?
You remember who beat me for the title? Andrew Palace.
That's right. That's right, he did. Yeah. Because I was wrapped into that he had to bring Wardlow back.
Yeah.
To help defeat the regulators.
Yeah, so he calls his friend Wardlow to come back and defeat us, and it was smart to do that. But it was also cowardly to keep your cards hidden. So there's a lot of people who love me now, and the fans are turning. They're starting to realize I'm a real dude. I'm the real deal. I'm not some ass kiss just trying to sell T-shirts.
As you said at the beginning of the show, you're the goat of fucking McDonald's if you're there.
I'm sitting in my fucking recliner right now watching the Grey Cup. I'm the motherfucking goat of the CFL if I wanted to be. I'm the fucking... I believe I'm the best, and I know there's going to be 5 or 6 people that are going to say, no, you're not the best. And they're all Cole Karter fans, but they don't even know he's a good wrestler. They just look at him and think he's cute. You know, so... But...
He looks like a Von Erich.
Yeah, it looks like a Von Erich. So you get all these people over the years, and why wouldn't Cole Karter to get a hold of Justin Plummer, right? Why wouldn't him? Why wouldn't they go right for him? Because they're going to get more money, they're going to get more opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay. So Plummer has been helping push a lot of guys from IWC to give them opportunities to wrestle on AEW. How many times has Andrew Palace or Spencer Slade or any of these guys, they've had how many chances? I've been wrestling for 17 fucking years, and I don't even get a fucking phone call from him
saying, hey, maybe you should go down. Then it was all during COVID time.
They were in fucking West Virginia, an hour from where I live. Yet they're sending people down there. But they don't ever call the old bitter man. It's all about helping his friends. You know, he's got Orion back, and I don't know if you know Orion. He's a mainstay. They got him. They got Chris Hero. And anytime I show up to the building, everyone pretty much stays away from me except for 4, 5, 6 people, right? And I got my group of people that I get along with very well. But I look over, and it's all the time. There's Cole Karter sitting at a table with Chris Hero, sitting with Orion, CJ Sensation standing over top, Potter. The entire company is standing over top, and all they do is spend the time discussing Cole Karter. Like, I tried to squash this stuff with Plummer. He wouldn't give me 30 seconds. Because, look, I'm not going to kiss his ass, but I will squash it. Because professional wrestling is my job. I need a job. I'm not going to kiss his ass, but I would like the opportunity to ply my trade.
But he's also got to know he's got something special in you that he keeps you coming back, I would imagine.
Shit, I've been there 10 years, and he still thinks I'm the shits. The dude said right in the ring, like, I ain't been good in 4, 5, 6 fucking years or something like that. You know, he's got this fascination with physiques. He thinks he's an aesthetic kind of guy. He's only up here, you know, all about these guys and the way they look. That's it. Like, A1, how many opportunities has Anthony Young got? The dude is about as charismatic as a used fucking condom.
Okay. That one just broke us. You brought up, pause from IWC for a second. You brought up 17 years in the business, and it's been all over as well.
Yeah.
Besides IWC, but clearly it's not. You have a favorite place that you like going, or do you like just relatively close to home? Because you've been in NWA when it was like that, the regional NWA remix, and here, and I mean, you've been all over. Do you have a favorite federation organization, or do you not give a shit? You just like beating people up?
I like beating people up. I'm a Greektown Pro up in Toronto. Channing Decker's promotion is probably my absolute favorite place to wrestle at. The Canadian fans. And I'm actually watching the Grey Cup right now. And a guy from southeastern Ohio just scored a touchdown in the fucking Grey Cup. So someone else from the 740, just like Joey Burrow, you know, from my part of Ohio, just scored a touchdown in the Grey Cup. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. So, but our Greektown Pro, Channing Decker is one of my best friends in all of professional wrestling. It's kind of weird that this Greek kid from Canada and me, this fucking hillbilly from southeastern Ohio, get along so well. But
did that?
Yeah.
If you're gonna pull down that fourth wall, I'm gonna bring down this one. Did that friendship all come when the fraternity beat the Bearded for Your Pleasure? Because that's essentially the first time that I know that you guys met.
Well, I mean, it didn't break out then. Like probably a year or something. I actually got to spend some time with him outside of wrestling, drinking beer and raising hell. You know, yeah, I didn't want to lose them tag team titles, but we sat around and had a common ground, and we see the business a little different, but we get along. I stay with his family when I go up to Canada. Like, I take my family up there to spend time with them. Yeah, it's a true brotherhood between me and him.
Cool.
It's just, it's kind of weird. A lot of people wouldn't think it, you know. But Greektown Pro is one of my favorite places to wrestle at. Remix Pro, I'm actually the champion, still champion there, and they're trying to do the same shit to me right now. They're trying to, like, I can't lose another match at Remix Pro or my career's over there. And I'm the champion, so I just got to keep winning. So I'm not gonna lie, I will cheat to if I have to continue on. I ain't ashamed.
It's
my job.
Money in your pocket and food on the table for your family. So hell yeah, I would too.
So all these, there's a youth movement, and we're trying to get these 20-year-old acrobats to taking the place of us old, bitter, fat guys, right? That's what they're trying to do, just all trying to get rid of us, this old fat guys. So there's a lot of places I'm very thankful to wrestle for. And I'd be here all day. There's FTC in Ironton, Ohio, that I'm a big fan of. It's Bobby Blaze, Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion. He actually has a training school. And that's one school I would highly recommend people who want to be a professional wrestler go to, because the dude's been all over the world. Trained by the Malenkos, beat Jerry Lawler for the Smoky Mountain title back in the mid-'90s. I mean, phenomenal. That's where I would go.
Yeah, my next thing, John, you can go next. My next thing is you have collected championships, titles all over every place that you've been to. You've collected a ton. There's one that has been missed, and you have that opportunity here in about 10 days as the recording goes, and it's the Super Indy Championship. Is that one that you really is highly regarded for you, or do you just want to say, again, I'm throwing this out there, fuck you, Plumber, now I'm the second, all around every champion. What the hell word am I looking for, John, in IWC? Grand Slam.
Yeah, well, if I get that, I will become the second ever. I mean, let me rephrase it. And I'm not going to say when I get it. I'm going to say it right now. When I beat Cole Karter's fucking ass on December 3rd, I will have become the second ever Triple Crown champion in the history of IWC. And that means tag team, IWC championship, and then the Super Indy title. And the only guy who's ever done that was Shima.
Yeah.
Who happens. Now, that's also one of the other guys I want to throw in with the Plumber Brigade. He would have got to the top on his own. But of course, he, gets on top of the Plumber bus and rode that. And Plumber just loves him to death. And Plumber doesn't want anybody else to become a Triple Crown champion, because he only wants his friend to be a Triple Crown champion. I'm sure if Cole Karter wins the IWC title one day and tag team belts, which I'm sure he will, because the kid's for real, he'll give him that opportunity. But he doesn't. Can you imagine? I want you to think about what people assume the Super Indy title is. It's the high-flying, fast-paced championship, right?
Right.
Let me get my phone here and let me see if I can get a list of Super Indy people who's been the Super Indy champion. And I want to read this. If you guys got time, I hope you guys got.
We got all. This is yours, man.
Yeah. I'm looking at my phone here because I'm the fucking drizzling shits of
everything
of technology. I fucking suck at technology, man. So I'm gonna try to get a list of who's ever been the Super Indy champion. Okay. All right, we'll go all the way back. The first one was Super Hentai, and that was back in 2003, right?
Yeah, we spoke with him. Yep.
Yeah. Great dude. The second guy to ever win it, AJ Styles. Then you got Cole Cabana, Chris Sabin, John McChesney, Sterling James Keenan, Loki, Delirious, Larry Sweeney, which if Plummer was around, he probably wouldn't have got an opportunity. Johnny Gargano, Jerry Lynn, Matthew Justice, Assad, Sammy Callahan. Oh, you see Andrew Palace's name on there. Mm-hmm. Josh Alexander, LaRusso, I'm sure that was hard for him to get that opportunity. But you think you got all these guys, and it's a style in a sense. And the last thing they want, and I'm going to use Plummer's words, he don't want an old, fat, bitter veteran to carry around the Super Indy Championship. And there's going to be some fans that's just going to groan over the thing. And I don't really, to be honest, I don't give a fuck if they like it or not. Because for the most part, they don't know fucking professional wrestling or actually the idea of hard work. Because most fucking fans like that just sit in their mom's fucking basement and jack off and eat Hot Pockets 24/7.
Dungeons and Dragons. You forgot
Dungeons
to
and
mention
fucking Dragons.
Okay.
Oh,
You mentioned hard work, Jock, and that's the key. Like a lot of those names you mentioned, yeah, they're high flyers for the most part, and the action's a little fast paced, but by and large, all those guys were just they're workhorses, and the same could be said for you. So you winning this belt on December 3rd is not so far out of the ordinary of that whole list that you just read to us. You're a workhorse too.
yeah, but they have really fancy finishing maneuvers, and my finishing maneuver is an elbow drop. Could you imagine winning the Super Indy title with a fucking spinning Dusty Rhodes elbow drop? I mean, Justin Plummer would probably drink himself into a coma on December 3rd that evening.
The Bradleys, the Brads, the Kaylas, all of those people would shit themselves, right? Is that what you're saying?
They would. Well, Brad's going to come around because eventually everybody comes on over to the dark side.
Okay.
Because as you see, there's a movement in IWC.
There's a huge movement
Fans
right
are
now.
actually, and I've never once kissed their ass. I know Brad don't like me right now. That's fine. He'll come around. And Kayla, I'm a big baseball fan. I'm a sports guy, right?
Right.
I see her at sporting events, and she's always very nice. She's never negative to me. I mean, there's this woman, this daughter and mother there, and they sit in the front row, and they look like a shitty Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich. They look like if Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton look like shit, and all they do is talk shit to me.
You think they're going to come around? Is that what you're telling us?
Oh, the only thing they're going to come around on is the smell that comes around from the fucking section that they sit at. You know where they're at. You can smell them.
I know who you mean.
Yeah, that's fucking shitty Ricky and shitty Tommy. I'm getting fired up.
What are you drinking right now, buddy?
I've been drinking all day. I just watched my Steelers blow a lead, so.
Yeah, I was watching that prior too.
I'm drinking me a Crown and Cherry Coke.
Nice. I wanted to mention that. What do you think? You said, you would love to make Justin drink himself into oblivion. What do you think of the fact that he drinks White Claws? I know we're getting personal here, but I can't get past that. I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Bro, I'm an alpha male, bro. I mean, I drink beer, I drink whiskey, and I'll drink a Jack and Coke when I'm at home. I drink whiskey, I drink my coffee black. There ain't no fucking sense for having sugar in your fucking drink. I don't put cream or sugar in my coffee.
Black's the best way, I agree.
Absolutely.
Black's the best way.
Yep.
That's the softest ass shit in the world, drinking a fucking White Claw. I mean, it's almost like Justin Plummer's blowing himself drinking a White Claw. I'm sure his lower back is flexible. I mean, it's pitiful. I'm not one to judge people, but I will state my opinion if asked.
Well, we asked.
Sucking yourself off. Sucking yourself off.
Jock, I do want to talk about a few legends that you've wrestled, okay? And before you jump in, just hold on. We have Shane Douglas, Hardcore Holly, D'Lo, Colt Cabana, Duggan, Swoggle, the new AEW champion MJF, both Dudleys, Rikishi, Tracy Smothers, Valentine, Gargano, and of course you wrestled the Honky Tonk Man. That's a laundry list of...
Jeff Jarrett, don't forget about
Jeff Jarrett. That's the one I couldn't read because my handwriting is like a 4-year-old child. Yeah, that's a fucking Hall of Fame list that people don't even in major wrestling companies. And I'm not knocking anything, so please don't backhand me next time I say it. They don't get this many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That's all because of your hard work, right? They saw.
Nobody, just because I have a beer gut and, I'm fat or whatever you want to say, it doesn't mean I don't work hard. Like everyone, they look at Cole Karter and they see that great physique, which, let me put this out there, he does work hard. You can tell he works hard. You can tell he spends hours in the gym. I do too. I just like to eat buffets and fucking drink. And I like women, you know. I'm sure I've taken years off my life by my lifestyle outside of the ring, but you know what? Fuck it, now live once. So I do work hard. And to be honest, there's not many guys that work as hard as I do. I'm constantly promoting the shows. You know, I'm constantly promoting shows.
I'll vouch for you.
Constantly
every fucking show you're promoting something, beating somebody's ass. I agree.
I'm the best fucking guy fucking cutting promos, talking shit. I'm the fucking best.
Yeah. That's why you call yourself the GOAT.
That's why
you're the GOAT.
And now, that's right. And if people don't think that, and they say I'm not, they're fucking full of shit. They're just starstruck. Like, I mean, goddamn, Cole Karter, give him a microphone. Actually, I'm worse. I'd rather hear Cole Karter talk than A1. That motherfucker. Hey man, it's like Ricky Bobby when he finishes third in his first race. Motherfucker don't know what to do with his hands. All he's doing is backflips. I mean, which way did he go? You know what I mean? Like, you can't get these motherfuckers to share a flyer. I promote. I'm 24/7. I am my own business. Promoting me, promoting the places I work. I share more information than a lot of people, but Plumber ain't going to do it. But yeah, let's go ahead and give people who just show up to get in the ring and wrestle. Who just wants to see somebody just show up and wrestle for no reason and have nothing, no substance behind it?
Wrestling's built on a story. Wrestling's built on a story.
Is that?
It would be. It is. Yeah. It's horrible.
I mean, it's the shits. I mean, it's like hanging out at the bar with Johnny Patch. It's fucking boring.
We've hung out at a bar with Johnny Patch, right, Mark?
We did.
Johnny Patch is all right. Johnny Patch is all right, but he's another one of the Plumber gang. I mean, honestly, he let Wardlow pick who he's going to wrestle for the Super Indy title, right? We all know Plumber said, "Hey, you mind wrestling Johnny Patch?" Or was it, or who did Johnny Patch? Whoever it was, he did a favor, and I can't remember. I don't worry about their shit, but I keep them. I know what's going on. Johnny Patch would never got that opportunity for Justin Plummer. I mean, shit. I've wrestled all these fucking names all over the world. I've wrestled Danhausen. I've pinned Danhausen. He's on AEW. I've pinned D'Lo Brown. I think he helps with them. Bob Holly. I mean, we've talked about all these names, and we didn't mention a lot of them.
Right. These are just. I literally just wrote down a few going through. I'm like, holy shit.
My wife told me. She said, and I've never been the kind of guy to take myself serious in that sense. You know, I wrestle who I wrestle because that's my profession. I show up, you tell me who I'm wrestling, I'm going to kick the shit out of somebody. She said, you ought to spend time and actually think about that and keep track of that part. And just so you can have something to tell someone when you're old. I said, baby, I'm old now. But, you know, no one would give me these opportunities if I wasn't for real, if I wasn't the real fucking deal. Like I've wrestled both Dudley boys.
Right.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Tracy Smothers is one I really want to know more about because it's Tracy. You two in the ring. Please tell me somebody has this recorded. Please tell me it's out there. Even if it's a fucking VHS, I'll go buy another VCR to watch this because you two crazy bastards just had to go at it. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah, AIW. I think you look it up on Smart Mark Video.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can. They had a match, me and Tracy Smothers, and I think we went maybe an hour.
Wow.
And didn't leave her feet and didn't even bump.
No.
And then it turned into a tag
way.
match where me and Tracy tagged. it turned into a tag match, and we ended up tagging together against some guys. We didn't bump. and people had people on top of throwing babies in the air, and we talked shit beforehand.
Right.
At AIW, it was me and Tracy Smothers for about 4 or 5 years every month, and I just had the most fun with him. Like, I remember we had a show AIW booked, and it was me, Colonel Rob Parker, Bunkhouse Buck, Tracy Smothers versus Cole Cabana, Fontaine, and a couple people, and Missy Hyatt is involved in the storyline.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So we're down in the basement of this church that they had, Mount Carmel Church. And we got a case of beer. And all we're doing is me, Buck, Dick Justice, Colonel Parker, Missy Hyatt. And all we're doing is sitting there playing fucking cards. And these fucking kids are looking at us like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Don't you want to prepare for what you're doing? And I'm just like, fuck you. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Fucking winning. I'm winning $200 from Colonel Parker. What the fuck I'm doing? You know, and it's just, you know, young kids look at me like that. They don't really give a shit. So we were on a show, and they had these 2 young kids, and Bunkhouse Buck was there. And you knew who Bunkhouse Buck was before he was Buck, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Golden. Jimmy Golden had one of the best drop kicks. And these kids had no fucking clue who the fuck he was. I don't even know who the fuck those kids were. But I'm putting him over. I'm like, this guy had the best fucking drop kick that I've ever seen in my life. And they're looking at him like he's just some old man.
Colonel Sanders. Yeah.
Yeah, Colonel Sanders. This generation has no respect for the past. And all you got to do to understand that is go to a college campus and interview these kids about the history of the United States, and these dumb fucks can't get it right. Who was our first president? And they'll say Abraham Lincoln, the dumb fucks. Or they'll just, you know, who was buried in Grant's tomb? And they say, I don't follow history. Or when was the War of 1812? And they don't fucking got a clue. Stupid fucks. They just don't have no appreciation for history.
That's across the board. That's across the board, sports and everything. Yeah.
And I think that's why fans appreciate what I'm doing, because there's a lot of fans that don't appreciate this style, but they appreciate my style because my style is a throwback style to when wrestling was great. You know, so I think a lot of people, they're starting to come around. They're starting to realize that just because my style ain't flashy doesn't mean it doesn't work. And the fact that everyone else is goddamn doing flips and jumps and loops and they're fucking slapping their fucking leg on kicks. You know I got a Super Indy title match. If I have to, when I punch Cole Karter in the mouth, I'll make sure I'll smack my leg for everybody. I'll slap it. I'll slap him and slap my leg at the same time.
Jesus, God, I can't wait till December 3rd.
Yeah, what can we expect? Because you've given him his props, justifiably so. He's good. He works hard. He's quick. Good-looking kid. What can we expect?
Well, I expect Cole Karter is going to come out and do what has got him. And I'm not saying that kissing Plummer's ass. Kid had ability. He's going to come out and bring everything he's got. He's going to bring all his arsenal. The only thing I'm bringing is my 2 fucking fists. You know, I know Cole Karter can wrestle. We all know he can. We've seen it on TV.
Right.
You know, shit.
He was just on a pay-per-view last weekend.
Yeah. Can he fight? Has anybody in the Super Indy division ever been forced to fight?
I don't know.
No. So, you know, we're going to have a fight. Yeah, I'm going to make it a fucking fight. I'm not even going to hide it. Like, you guys know Woody Hayes, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Ohio State fanatic.
Yeah, we all see your tattoo. Team. Yeah.
Yeah, this week is the fucking week where I'm going to be a surly motherfucker, too, because they're playing that team up north. It's Saturday in the shoe. Don't talk about I hate you want to know who I hate worse than Plummer? I hate them.
You won't even say that name. You won't even say that name, so clearly you hate them more.
I'm fucking Xing out all M's this week.
Oh shit!
X out every M.
That my name starts with an M.
Yeah, Jock Samson. The M's coming out.
Oh, okay.
The M's gone. Fuck that shit. But yeah, that's this week. So I'm gonna be. I never wrestle that day, but but what we're gonna see on the 3rd is me and Cole Karter are gonna have a physical altercation. And like Woody Hayes, you knew what Woody Hayes was gonna do when he was running the ball, right? When he was offense, you knew he was gonna run the ball. You knew what plays were coming. It's not gonna be no secret. Cole Karter, I'm coming to fight you, not wrestle you. And I know someone's going to say, well, Jock Samson, you don't know your way around wrestling holds. Well, motherfucker, I've never done a fucking wrestling hold. All I've done is kick the shit out of people and pin them.
Yeah.
What more do I need to do? Do I need to grab a guy's arm and twirl around 55 times, leapfrog up, nip up? I don't need to do none of that shit. I'm going to take your wrist. Because the basis of wrestling is you do kind of have to wrestle a small part. But for the most part, it always leads to the end of my fucking right fist. And then my left one's following. And then when you're down the ground, sticking my boot in your fucking ass. It's going to be a wrestling for him, and it's going to be a fight. And we're going to see whose styles takes over. And I'm sure my cowbell will be around.
Ooh.
Somewhere. I don't care how I got to get it done. But there's a lot of people saying that I can't win wrestling matches without using my cowbell. And that's
a lie. That's a lie.
That's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. I just use the cowbell because I fucking want to hit someone in the head with a cowbell. It's fun to watch blood squirt out of their head. But yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a lot of action. You got me in the match, so you're going to get plenty of showmanship. But that's all there's not too, I'm a fucking redneck peacock. I just strut the fuck around, right?
You and Ronnie Millsap.
So, yeah, Ronnie Millsap. And that's coming back. I'm my old theme music is coming back.
Good. Because I love Strangers in the House.
Plumber never liked Stranger in My House. He never liked it. He never liked my theme music because it was country. And he don't like, think about this. Cole Karter's from West Virginia, right?
Right.
And I like rock and roll and I like all this other stuff. But Cole Karter's coming out to Rush. I'm sure that wasn't his decision. That dumb shithead should be coming out to country roads. He's from West Virginia. You ever hear him promoting West Virginia?
No.
It's almost like he's ashamed to be from West Virginia. Like, I'm proud of where I'm from, Cole. And you say that about you? Like, he grew up in the same town as my father-in-law, Sissonville, West Virginia. You'd never fucking hear him. I've heard people announce him from being from Pittsburgh. What a shady piece of shit. He's really not the person everyone thinks he is. Like, he's on TV acting one way, and then when he comes to IWC, the people that cheer for him are completely ignoring the fact that he's being a scumbag on TV. But yet, we got a guy on TV, so yeah, we're gonna do what Plumber does, and we're gonna cheer him. That's really what it is. After the kid's on TV, Plumber loves that. He likes hanging out with stars. Hold on a sec, my wife is making a big. Linda, would you knock that shit off?
She's making a mess.
Goddamn, do the dishes on your time. Damn.
Jock, I have two more questions for you, and they're kind of personal. What has wrestling brought to your life in this 17 years, besides a paycheck and stuff for your family?
Well, I got to live the boyhood dream. I know that's very cliche and generic, but that's the truth.
Right.
I wanted to have a job to where I enjoyed it. I've always was good at fighting people. I was always tough. I was a all-state football player, I mean, in Ohio, which means more than Pennsylvania. Just throwing that out there.
A lot, actually.
But
so, yeah.
A lot. But it's gave me everything that I could. I mean, my daughter's very proud of the fact that I'm a professional wrestler. Like, she loves it. Like, when I beat Matt Cross for the remix, to retain my remix title, there's another name right there who I beat.
Yeah.
And people who says I can't work a Super Indy style should have came and saw me beat up Matt Cross. And then come fucking tell me about fucking styles. So fuck you. But people were treating me like shit. But there's a lot of people there that were cheering me. But the people who were cheering him were treating my people like shit. But my daughter's up in the rafters with their friends. And when Matt Cross tried to cheat to beat me, and they awarded him the title at first, and they switched it, they're up there bawling. So she's really into it. I just don't bring her around because, to be honest, would you want your kid around Justin Plummer and these guys?
My son has stopped coming. John, that's a question for you then.
And if you're honestly asking me, we don't see Justin very often, but Jenny's nothing but good to my kid whenever we're there.
Dude, I don't get this. Like, and I mentioned it during the show. Jenny's a wonderful lady. She has done nothing but treat me with respect. But she's married to a fucking scumbag. This bug-eyed motherfucker. You don't see this piece of shit when he's drunk.
We have on the six-pack with Jack during COVID.
Man, if you would have been at the ballpark when I won the title, you know how many women were hanging out with me? There's a picture. I'll send you a picture. There's so much women, so many hot chicks there hanging out with me because, well, they were like, man, finally, we got a fucking champion here that's a man.
Oh, I know one of those women. Megan Nelson you are her goat. And so many other reasons.
Well, I mean, I'm the greatest of all time. I mean, she knows that. Megan's one of them, and A1, I bet you that's why A1 doesn't talk to me, because Dime Piece likes to talk to me. Well, he wouldn't know. He don't even talk to her either, so he'll talk to anybody.
So your wife is in the background right now doing dishes, and she's got nothing to say about all this, about all the women that come around to see Jock Samson?
Well, it's one of those things. I'm married.
Okay.
I ain't divorced from my wife, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck. YOLO. My daughter taught me YOLO. YOLO.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm a scumbag. I really am. I'm not a good guy. I'm not a great. I'm a man of many faults. I have a lot of faults. A lot of it is what it is. I'm like any hero in a movie. Like how awful would Die Hard been if Mr. Rogers was fucking whipping ass. And I love talking shit on Mr. Rogers because I grew up with Mr. Rogers. He's a genuine article. But could you imagine someone nice like Mr. Rogers that has no bad habits, no faults, nothing? How boring life the movie would be. I'm really the hero of IWC and this whole thing. Yeah, I'm a womanizer and I drink, I'm fat, but I'm tough as hell.
You forgot to mention one thing, Jock. And
what is that?
If you want to punch me in the face when you see me on December 3rd, you can. You're a great dad. Because trust me, I follow you on Facebook. You're a great dad, too.
Well, I appreciate that. I take a lot of pride in her, raising her. She is everything to me. She is sick right now. She has the flu right now, so she's down. But she is everything that I could ever ask for. Of all the bad things that I am and that I do, and the kind of it is what it is. I'm all these things, right?
Right.
I can't help myself.
It makes up who you are, the GOAT.
But I'm still wrestling because of her. Because, like any father, I have to provide. I have to make sure that she's fed. I got to make sure that she has clothes on her body, have a roof over her head.
Yeah.
These guys that Plummer's trying to replace me with, the only responsibilities these guys have in their life is like what video game they're going to play when they go back to their apartment. Like, I own my home. Professional wrestling has provided a home for me. I have a modest house, and I have a big 2-car garage, and I'm sure you see a lot of promos of me sitting there getting shit-faced in it, but I worked awful damn hard, to do what I do, and I do it for her.
Right. And you're teaching her lessons.
I would gladly trade my life right now for hers. And I hope it never comes to that, but I would gladly do it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even think twice. I'm still wrestling for her because she is everything. She is it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Plumber, go ahead and get rid of a dad so you can play buddy with your single friends that don't have kids or responsibilities besides wrestling. I mean, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that. She is my life. Scarlett Samson is my life.
John, my list is done. So you want to wrap one more?
Yeah. Well, I just want to ask one more thing. I know, you're interested in making a living and beating people up, and not so much in Justin Plummer's psychology behind it all. But if you had to guess, do you think he's trying to live vicariously through some of these young people? Did he want to get in the ring? Does he want to be a young single guy, do you suppose?
I would say that he's a very unhappy person. That he feels like if he doesn't hang out with these people and give them opportunities, they're not going to be his friend. To be honest, it's probably true because he's a rotten, miserable cunt. Yeah, I mean, he's just a fucking cunt. He only cares about himself. Like, I don't know how Jenny does it. I think she deserves a fucking lifetime achievement award.
Purple Heart.
Purple Heart. Justin ought to do her. She ought to do her a favor and get her a fucking divorce. That would probably make her happy for once. But I mean, he hangs out with all these guys. Look, Cole Karter is using Plummer, and he's too stupid to realize it. But Plummer likes the idea that he's got somebody on TV as his friend. But as soon as Cole Karter starts moving up into the ranks of professional wrestling, he's going to lose his phone number like Wardlow did, like Britt Baker did, like Sheena did. They're all going to lose his fucking number, and it'll probably he'll get somebody new, or he'll go back to Andrew Palace, or I'm sure he'll start hanging out with Spencer Slade, or whatever. That's going to tell Plummer what he wants to hear. I got a couple people on Facebook. Like when I put this movement out, this "We Want Jock" hashtag "We Want Jock," still a couple people chirping at me, but okay, cool. I'm glad to see that they don't appreciate pro wrestling, but they only like Cole Karter because of the way he looks. And honestly, guys, do you think they realize he is a good wrestler, or are they just going on his appearance?
Appearance.
If I'm being honest.
I'm being honest and saying appearance.
Yeah, and if they would actually spend some time studying professional wrestling, they would realize he's the real deal. He really is. Like, the first thing anybody says about Cole Karter when they meet him is like, ooh.
He's handsome. He looks like a Von Erich. Yeah.
Yeah. And I told him when I first met him, when he was a young, dumb kid, he should get cowboy boots and trunks and wrestle like a Von Erich, but he won't do it because he works out his upper body, but he doesn't work out his lower body. I got bigger calves than he does. But I actually work out probably longer and more than he does. I do a lot of cardio. I lift a lot of, if you look at, people would take time and look at my arms and realize they're big. My legs are big. My calves are huge. My gut is monstrous.
You worked that out too. You worked that out too.
That's right. I shoulder press 285 pounds. I bench now that I'm 43. I got 375 twice.
Damn.
So I got that old man strength.
Damn. Good for you.
So maybe after I beat Cole Karter, and so maybe after, I'm not saying maybe I'm going to beat him, but maybe after the match when I beat him, Cole Karter may buckle down and actually, it's going to be a great match because they're going to realize I hope they realize how good of a professional wrestler he is, but not just how handsome he is. Yeah. He is. He is a good looking guy, but he is a great wrestler. Some guy on Facebook was trying to bury him, saying he sucked. I'm like, no, he'd ended up on television regardless. He would have. He's talented, but he got fast tracked. Like, what about me, Plumber, man? Like, he won't even throw a 17-year-old veteran a bone, but yet he's going to hang out, send all his buddies down there, the guys who don't talk to me in the locker room. You me tell you the guys who do talk to me. Would you like to know this list?
Yeah, I do want to know this list.
R.C. Dupree, one of the most genuine dudes around. Great guy, solid human being, money shot. All three of them, real dudes. Dime piece. I think that's for other reasons.
Well, yeah.
But like these five guys, have done nothing but been polite to me and genuine. And everyone else just stay. I mean, there's some people that don't hate me. They just stay away from me because they're afraid that Plummer's going to treat them like me. So Plummer's hell bent. He wants me out of there. He don't want me around. But I have a contract. But now he's got it to where the contract is like it used to be a salary, but now it's a paid. Now he dropped it to a paid per show, which has me wrestling more elsewhere. But I still have to be there for that one show. But Cole Karter comes in, and whether he shows up or not, he's getting paid.
That's
so you've
not
got
right.
a contract, and after December 3rd, you're going to have a championship.
Yeah, and then I'll have a lot of bargaining on the table because nobody knows how to work a system better than I do. If you don't believe that, then we'll talk about the whole Governor Wolf thing. Nobody can work that better than I can. I have a friend I have two friends that are lawyers. Chris LaRusso, and then David Lawless. So I got two people I trust with all my heart who Plummer ain't bringing back. You ever notice that? Where the hell they been?
Right. Yeah, where have they been?
The COVID year is arguably one of the best years IWC had. And it was because of us. And anybody who says otherwise, they're full of shit. And I heard this the other day, okay? And if we're able to make clips out of this, I would like to use this as a clip.
I will make a clip out of this. Go ahead.
So, a couple years ago, when I became the IWC champion that year, 2020, there was a rumor that I actually won the vote for IWC male wrestler, or the wrestler of the year, or superstar of the year, the main award, right?
Right.
So I kept hearing this. And then I had a couple people And this is like politics. There's a lot of people, they don't want their name said because they're afraid they're going to lose their job. And I won't mention their name because I wouldn't want that. But everyone says that I won the award, hands down. And they said it wasn't even close. People respected what I did, even though they didn't like what I did. So you know who won that award for 2020?
Wasn't it Jack?
Andrew Palace.
Andrew Palace. Because Jack didn't. Yeah, because Palace. Yeah, okay, right.
What did Andrew Palace do in 2020 that where he deserved that award?
Well, he got the title back essentially for Plummer.
He got it back for Plummer. And if I could ever prove this, I mean, this should, and if people are not seeing this should prove that this is all a conspiracy to help his friends. Like, I should have won that award in 2020. Like, I'm going to be surprised if I'm even put on the ballot this year for the IWC awards, because we get a bump in pay if we win that. It's significant amount of money, right?
Right, because you're putting asses in seats, as Ricky Morton would say.
And yeah, you're putting asses in seats. And we kept the whether I was shutting it down, I would have never shut the company down. You know what I would have done? I would have forced Plummer to sell it to me. And then I would have hired someone to run it the right way and the respectable way. It was just basically me trying to get Plummer the fuck out of there. I would have never shut it down. I would have just rebranded it with new ownership. And I would have been the owner, and I would have done it that way. But we never got around to it. But
Andrew Palace, Justin Plummer.
I mean, think about all the guys that's gotten opportunities over the years, right? I mean, name some guys. I want you guys to think about this. Like, who has ever gotten chances over the years? And that you've actually said, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy? Like, Jack Pollock, your nose, Jack Pollock's always in there. What's he always doing with Plummer? What's he doing? Always drinking with him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ever seen me drinking with Plummer?
No.
You ever seen RC Dupree drinking with Plummer?
No.
Who else can we throw in this? And I don't ever want to knock these people's abilities. I think they're all fantastic pro wrestlers. I don't ever want to say, if you name some people, think about it. There's somebody that you over the years you'd be like, God damn, this fucking guy again.
Gory.
You know? Yeah, gory. Like, you know, but I think Gory's getting this on his ability because the crowd demands it, right?
Oh, I was saying
he like Gory.
Yeah, everybody likes him, but he doesn't get the big shot.
Ah, I see what you're saying. So you're saying he should get a chance at the IWC title, but he won't because he's a fucking ghoul. Oh, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, it's because he needs, for one, Gory does need Jesus.
Well, okay,
but he needs a Lord. But yeah, he's not going to give him an opportunity. Could you imagine him if he gets a chance to be the IWC champion? No, that's never going to happen. I mean, he's not going to kiss Plummer's ass.
Yeah.
To get anywhere, you have to kiss his ass. Plain and simple. I mean, you're talking about the most prestigious wrestling company in Western Pennsylvania. Been around since 01, 02, 03, something around that line. And Plummer comes in and makes it the good old brother show. Good brother show.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, all these times spent with all these guys, he should be home spending with Jenny. Because she deserves to have a husband.
And the boys?
Yeah. Like Nystrom and Dime and Derek Dillinger, fantastic professional wrestlers. They went out and made their opportunities also. They would have never been given that opportunity. Thank God Dime won the reset button. You think Plummer's going to give him a shot? No, they just put Andrew Palace or Spencer Slade, or they put one of them in the match. I mean, Plummer's not what you think he is, people. Cole Karter definitely ain't what you people think he is. If you do, look at him on TV and tell me that. And without looking at his physique and saying that you want to rip his clothes off. Because if that's the way you're judging professional wrestlers, you're a fucking idiot.
On that note, Jock, you've been candid to say the least. I want to thank you for your straightforward answers. So after December 3rd, what else is going on then for Jock Samson? Where else can we see? Where else can we hear from you?
All right. 16th, 17th, and 18th of December, I will be in Greektown. They have 3 shows, Hamilton, Ontario on the 16th. They're in Toronto on the 17th, and on the 18th, we're in London, Ontario. The Christmas holiday tour is going to be phenomenal. And then for the rest of the year, I just take it and I'm spending time with my wife and daughter. I
know where you were going. Okay, go ahead.
But I'm happy to, I always take time to spend time with my daughter, and I'll be honest, I hate fucking Christmas. Right? I fucking hate it.
I do too.
Fuck. But when around her, you might, if she won't listen to this podcast because daddy uses too much bad language. But you're not going to be, I'm going to put on a brave face and act like I like this shit. So I take her to see Christmas lights. We actually are thinking about taking her up to see the ones in Wheeling. So, yeah. Spending the holidays with her. My in-laws coming from Florida, we're going to ruin the entire fucking week.
So you're going to be drinking a lot?
No, fuck no, man. They're these, I'm going to throw away your fucking liquor Christians.
Oh.
I thought about getting a job for a week, like working at the mall, being a mall fucking cop or something to get the fuck out of the house.
Jock Blart.
Bro, there'll be an elf next to Santa Claus, so I don't have to be here. Be a bartender at the VFW, which that's my place of alcohol consumption, because I like finding a VFW. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And first of the year, hopefully Ohio State's playing for a national championship.
I'm on board with that, since Pitt's they're going to go to the Pinstripe Bowl this year. So. Well,
I've seen them play. I don't even think they deserve that.
I was at the game this past weekend. It was fucking cold, and they didn't deserve the win.
The only game I've got to see them play was West Virginia, because I like to talk shit to these motherfuckers down here.
Nice.
I live now where I grew up in Nelsonville. It's about an hour from West Virginia, but I live like 30 seconds from West Virginia, and I just go over there and fuck with them all day. Just having a good time. He is inbreeders and shit.
He is the GOAT of everything that he touches, Jock Samson. Jock, thank you once again for this in-depth, candid, and amazing interview here on Can Crushers.
Guys, I appreciate you having me on, and I'm glad you guys have finally come across and seen the light, because I've listened to some of you guys' podcasts in the past, and you weren't very fond of me. So you're now starting to realize that I'm real now.
We fucked
Absolutely.
up. We fucked up, and you're right.
That was on us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You're bad.
We were
Thanks a lot,
all
guys.
along, Mark. Wow. There's a lot to unpack here, Mark.
I don't know if I can unpack this tonight, tomorrow, or by December 3rd.
When you reach out to Justin and you're like, hey, there's going to be 3 of us, 5 of us, 8 of us. We'd like front row. We'd like second row. I think next time around, if the plumbers listen to this, Justin's just going to be like, you know what, Mark? We're kind of sold out for this show. See ya.
Yeah, the partnership that we have on the IWC, the whole pre-show thing that Plumber and I have worked out now for the next year. I'm a little worried now.
You know, we're hearing Jock's side of the story. We're not privy to all the details. I will say this for Jock Samson. Here's where I do agree with him. You know where he's coming from. He shows you his hand up front, whether that was, who his partners were going to be, what his intentions were, his game plan for December 3rd against Cole Karter. He is just up front with everything, believes in himself, and tells his truth at the very least. So you can't knock a guy for that. But man, he was just brutal. He was just absolutely brutal towards anybody he didn't like.
Yeah. Cole Karter, Andrew Palace, Jack Pollock. Can I keep naming names? Like he if you were, all right, get ready, wrestling term alert, a face, he had nothing to say good about you on this.
Pretty much.
But
well, he's the face in his mind. We were the heels all along, Mark.
Well, I was just going to say, but we were that podcast. Now he says you guys finally came around. I mean, listen, a lot to unpack. So we have to look at it both ways. I can agree, I can disagree. I see both points. But one thing, John, I do want to talk about. He grew up watching wrestling the same way we did. Spin it back around, and I don't know. I just figured we were the only two in America that did that. And to hear somebody else, another state miles away, man, that brought back memories of me and you. Like, legit, guys, we would do that. John wouldn't tell me if WrestleMania 4 was there. I wouldn't tell John if the King of the Ring was there. We had to get I got it first. As soon as it was in our possession, I'd run to the pizza shop or he'd call me or something. And we would just mock each other that we got it. Let me come over and watch it. Go fuck yourself. It's not going to happen.
Well,
right?
I guess we are kind of like Jock in that regard. It's leverage, right? It's something we can hold over one another.
Exactly. But you had to take it back. Man. You had to take it back the next day. So I just wouldn't talk to you for 2 days. And then we'd talk and do our recap.
Speaking of those old days of wrestling, I got a little bit of a Dr. D. David Schultz feel from this interview today with Jock yelling at his wife in the background.
She was just doing dishes.
Probably that he ate off of. He's going to yell at her about it. Man.
Yeah. I'll pull that fourth wall down one more time. Man, did you not get goosebumps, though, when he talked about his daughter? You're like, listen, Jock is wrestling. Jock is the GOAT of McDonald's, Burger King, or wherever he is. But Jock's also GOAT dad, too. I know we all think we are, but that touched me when he was talking about his daughter.
Yep. We definitely saw the human side of him, for sure.
So, as we said when we came into this little segment right here, there's a lot to unpack. But there's one thing you guys need to do. Either be on the IWC Network or Fight TV December 3rd to watch the Pittsburgh Classic, or be at Court Time Sports to see, if anything, if we only promoted one match on this, and we did, Cole Karter against Jock Samson for the Super Indy Championship. This podcast itself should sell that whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a clash of styles. We asked, and he kind of filled us in. Again, it goes to what we were saying earlier. He's up front about it. He knows what Cole Karter is going to bring to the table, and what Jock Samson will have as an answer won't be pretty. It won't be cute. It's going to be his fist. It's going to be his foot, as he put it, up Cole Karter's ass. There's going to be a fight, and I'll be curious to see if Cole Karter allows himself to get dragged into something like that. Because if he does, that might be a mistake.
And the bell may be around as well. We'll see.
Yeah, he said he's not afraid to use it.
All right, guys, this was a hell of an interview. A hell of an interview. Jock, thank you once again for coming on the show, sharing some wisdom and everything you shared with us here on Can Crushers. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.